Well, MEC for Finance and Economic Development, Lebogang Maile, has presented the 2025-26 Gauteng budget at the provincial legislature. He says 36.6 billion rand has been allocated for infrastructure. Maile says they will be hosting the first Gauteng Investment Conference, expected to attract 800 billion rand worth of investments over a 5-year period. This will take place in April. He further said in the last 5 financial years, Gauteng provincial government has invested around 15.1 billion rand in township-based enterprises owned by black women, youth, people with disabilities and military veterans. Well, for more on this, let's cross now to my colleague, the SABC economics editor, Tepo Mungwai, who is standing by with to interview, no doubt, the Premier. Tepo, it's over to you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Nompu. The MEC of Finance and Economic Development tabled his budget for 2024-26 and, of course, highlighting some of the challenges that the revenue is facing in terms of collection, but also in terms of the equitable share that the province received from the National Treasury. But for more, we are now joined by the Premier of Gauteng, Mr. Lesufi. Premier, your reaction to the budget? The MEC was quite frank in terms of some of the challenges. Reduction to the baseline has been one of the major concerns that will definitely have an impact on service delivery.
Firstly, I need to thank him. It has been a difficult week. We've been trying to get the balance right, and he went beyond my expectation in getting that balance right. To say there are things that we need to render. We identify them as G13, as 13 problems that we have in Gauteng, and there are things that we have to let go, that we really believe that their time has expired. We just have to have new ideas. And he has identified those things beautifully, that we need to invest in infrastructure, but at the same time maintain the infrastructure that we have and attract new investment through the investment conference. We are looking for 800 billion in the next 3 to 5 years, a lot of money, just to take Gauteng to the next level. So I'm quite excited with the ideas that he has brought, and I'm also excited with the balancing act. Key is for us to plug where expenditure has been misused, where we've got accruals, where we've got invoices that can be duplicated, and also where there is a human element in the determining who's winning contracts in our province. So we are bringing now technology, we are bringing AI to assist us so that there's no human element in determining our contracts, and also opening our contracts to open tender system. So I really think that he held the balance so well. He even went beyond my expectation.
On the issue of infrastructure, there was a small reduction to that amount. It was supposed to be 37 billion, now it's 36.6 billion rand, and you've identified infrastructure as one of the key pillars to drive economic activity. Where are you going to get the money?
No, we said the project must be ready before we can fund it. We've been funding projects out of announcement, only to fund people are not ready even to execute it. You will see in the next 2 weeks, we are still fighting. Our human settlement budget may be taken or returned to National Treasury because we're not ready. And these are the kind of things that makes us to be very, very angry, where people deposit projects, whether those projects are ready, the land is available, municipal approvals are there, they've done the necessary licensing approvals. You find that those things are not done, and we've already allocated budget. So it's not a reduction. It's for us to ensure that each and every project that is going to be in our infrastructure budget is a project that is a shuffle rate, which simply means that after approval, people can go on site and start to construct those roads. If you check the expansion of Gauteng, we are far ahead, which simply means that it's going to be on site. The building of new roads, we have also checked that element, as well as the construction of new schools and clinics, as well as the one hospital that we want to build in this financial year.
One area is own revenue. You've been building up that one, 7.8 billion rand, 8 billion rand in the next financial year. How's the performance? But it looks like there are also challenges given where the economy is.
Well, that's the new way. You can't spend. You have to have new ideas on how to bring new revenue. And if you check the gambling sector, the gambling sector is growing big. So we need to tap in there and ensure that we have. Unfortunately, there are areas as well where we really believe that we can tap in, which is motor vehicle licensing, and also ensure that we get new areas where we can use our infrastructure. For example, there's land that we have and we're not using it. We can lease it quickly. There are buildings that we own that we're not using them, so we can sell them. So it's a combination of many things. It will be a new line item that you will see will start to grow as fast as possible.
Let's talk about the rollovers, over 1.2 billion. And we know that if you don't spend this money, you're going to lose it after 2 years. Why do we have such a high rollovers at 1.2 billion, particularly around conditional grants?
Watch this space. Those HODs that are responsible to that, by the next time you interview me, there will be history.
What are the measures that you put?
There will be history. Those HODs, because you can't tolerate that. You can't give people money under the circumstances that you have, and they don't utilize it, and they want them to be rolled over into the next financial year. If the reasons are legitimate, we'll then spare them. But if reasons are not legitimate, unfortunately, they're not fit and proper to run government with us, and therefore they need to excuse us. It's up to them where they want to go, but we are not going to tolerate people who are not using our budget.
You've expanded your cabinet. There's a new Department of Environment. Tell us the rationale behind that and the cost.
Go outside. Go outside now. It's raining. It's been raining for how many days? So we need to put systems to alert you that there will be disasters. There are many people that are swept by disasters. We live in a world that the environment has changed. Go and see what is happening in Alexander. There's a popular river there. It's always flooding when it rains and people get taken away. So we have to accept that climate change is here and we need to plan ahead and ensure that it works. But also, environment is linked to investment. Everyone, before you build, you must get an environment impact study. It takes long. So we've introduced this department to reduce the environment. But there's a lot of dumping. Everywhere you go out, people are just dumping anywhere. There's no enforcement. So we brought that department for enforcement. You go to a dumping area, it's a new diamond. Waste can be converted into electricity and energy. So we have brought this department so that all the waste that we are collecting, we can convert it into energy. So it's a very important department. If people think that it's a weak department, it's unfortunate. We have to think ahead on behalf of our people.
How much is it costing the taxpayer?
No, for now, we've put almost, I think it's 400 million just as a startup. As they start to function, we'll be in a position to increase it beyond that.
As we conclude the funding of the e-toll, it's a major concern. There hasn't been much in terms of from this particular budget about how you're going to fund. All we know is that there's 3.8 billion that you've paid, but the National Treasury is waiting for more payment.
No, we've done that. In the last budget, we explained that we are going to absorb the e-toll cost. And that all departments are not going to be affected by that decision. We have budgeted for e-tolls, we continue to pay. Obviously, we engage in National Treasury. We really believe that the payment terms must be relaxed there and there, take into consideration the new economic setup that we find ourselves. But there's a debate that we're having with them. But the commitment to settle to pay, it's there, and we've already made payments that we expected out of us.
What's the provision from your own coffers?
No, we have to. We've went to DBSA to assist us in terms of the loan. And we've also requested the loan department of National Treasury to come on board to assist us. But our approach is very simple. That is a commitment that we made, is a commitment that we have to execute. Me and you, we know e-tolls are gone. Are you still receiving e-toll statement? No. Who has taken that decision? This government.
The formula in terms of equitable share, I know the Western Cape was one province that was concerned about it, particularly around population growth, that it was not a fair reflection. As a result, what they receive from National Treasury, they don't think it's what they should be getting. The MEC has also raised something almost similar to that. What's the real issue there?
We took a knock as a province in Gauteng. SABC said we're 16. Later on, they revised and they say we are 15 million. And me and you, we know we are more than 15 million in Gauteng. If you count the people that are not documented that are coming to our province, they use our hospitals, they use our schools, they use our facilities. But we have to lose money because SABC said that it made a mistake about the population of Gauteng. So Western Cape is the last to complain. We are the one that have a genuine concern actually because it's our numbers that were revised downwards.
Thank you very much. That's the Premier of Gauteng, Lesufi, of course, is a reaction and input on the budget that was tabled by the MEC of Finance and Economic Development, raising a whole lot of other issues about the budget and where Gauteng is in terms of its fiscal framework. With that, it's back to you in studio.
Thanks very much. That's Tshepo Mongwai, our SABC economics editor.